Hey, what's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? Hey, how y'all doing? How are y'all doing today? I should actually change my name a little bit. So let me do this for now. Uh, what? Ooh, let's see what this is all about. Yeah, I'm trying to do something here. Hope y'all had a good one, by the way. You know, everything is going all right. I'm just actually trying to do something a little different here. Yeah, I thought about this live stream a lot. This is something that I really had in mind in regards to it's long overdue, and basically, uh, for the lack of better words, the timing wasn't right, but now I have to make the time. Yeah, we got to make the time, and that's what we're doing right now. There was some things I wanted to really have more prepared for this live stream that, in its current form, I'm not able to, but we could start somewhere. So look at the bottom screen. You see Revolutionary XM. Yes, yes, yes. And on the screen, you see me posing as Fred Hampton. What's good? Perfect timing. Good to see you up in the building. And also, Unique. Good to see you as well up in the building. Let me keep, I got to take it back. Y'all not up in the building with me. Y'all in the spaceship with me. So good to see y'all on the spaceship with me. Yeah. And of course, it might sound different for y'all as far as the way I sound because I'm outside with it. Yeah, I'm outside with it. Let's go. Yeah, just wanted to talk while I'm out here, while I'm out here, y'all. Just chilling. Uh, we what? We lakeside too. We out here chilling, lakeside with it. Let's go. Yeah. So that's how we doing a live stream this evening. Yes, indeed. But I want to talk more about Fred Hampton, who y'all see on the screen, part of this "I Am a Man" movement. Uh, Fred Hampton, he took it a step further, I believe, after the Martin Luther Kings and the Malcolm X's, if you will. So, and this is just getting started. I'm not even getting started. I'm just kind of opening up for y'all where I'm really coming from. So, if I sound really good to y'all, just put a one in the chat. Just want to make sure I sound good for y'all. But yeah, Fred Hampton, he came out of Chicago, born 1948, passed away 1969. And yes, it is proof that the FBI, as well as J. Edgar Hoover, yes, J. Edgar Hoover, FBI, they worked hand in hand to assassinate Fred Hampton. Okay, so that's what makes him okay. Unique gave me a one. That's cool. Uh, I don't think Malcolm X and Martin Luther King got assassinated by the FBI. Y'all can correct me on this information, but yeah, he was the only activist that I'm aware of. He don't even consider himself an activist. He said he's straight up revolutionary. That's all you kept hearing Fred Hampton say. He said one thing y'all gonna remember about me is that I'm a revolutionary. So for I am a man and what this live stream means as far as what I am a man means now, I'm gonna try to take on everything that represented Fred Hampton, even from the standpoint of changing my name tonight from Rayology XM to Revolutionary XM. Okay. So the reason why allegedly back in the days that the feds or the FBI assassinated him was because they identified him as a radical threat, allegedly. So they had placed a counterintelligence operative on him. That's so crazy. Even the fact that prior to him being shot and killed, assassination, he was drugged prior to that. He was part of the Black Panthers organization. So, like I said, this was, if I'm not mistaken, after Martin Luther King. And allegedly, they came down on Fred Hampton harder than anybody else in regards to the civil rights history. Like Fred Hampton, he's the story that still has yet to be told. They came down on him harder than Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. And actually, Fred Hampton is a sign of things to come. Even back then, he was well ahead of his time back then because he talked a lot more about social reform and about setting up a bank for the people, getting back to the days of Black Wall Street. Now, Martin Luther King was starting to get this, and that's the reason why they allegedly assassinated him too, because he realized all this unity, all this stuff going on as far as, oh, I have a dream. That didn't mean nothing if the dream of the people, the melanated people, was never materialized. Because it's not just about unity, it's still about sovereignty. And Martin Luther King realized that where will our sovereignty be in the midst of all this unity and integration that I'm speaking on with this dream that I said that I had, right? And so that's when he changed up his tune a little bit towards his demise. He said, we need to be having our own money. We coming to collect. That's what he said in regards to the government. And so that's when it was set up for him to be assassinated. Yep. But of course, uh, he got assassinated by, quote, his own people. Whereas Fred Hampton, he got assassinated directly by the FBI, directly. I guess Martin Luther King and Malcolm X being assassinated by, quote, their own people was more or less the indirect countermeasures of the FBI, even back in them days. So yeah, but J. Edgar Hoover, so all these people that you want to call presidents had a single hand in wanting to take out prominent leaders that were considered a radical threat. A radical threat to what? So you mean to tell me that a country that was founded upon being a threat towards indigenous people is now considering these same type of indigenous people or melanated people a threat when it comes to them wanting to get their country back, or at least some part of the country back? Like, somebody please educate me on this. But I don't want to go too heavy in this. Yeah, we're going to get more into what I mean by this live stream, because there's a point for all this that I'm saying. This is not just me being rayology, or in this case, revolutionary XM, trying to give y'all a history lesson. There's something to all this. Looks like I answered Unique's question about the Black Panther part. Yep, he was definitely all about that. And this was before, after, look, and this was like the beginning of the end of the Black Panthers, because they had to take down Fred. So after they took him down, they had to go after the rest of the Black Panthers and any other activists or revolutionary group, and they turned them into gangs, Bloods and Crips. So there you go. This was all started by the government. So all this down talking, that's why I said it's all by design. We could talk about all this black on black crime and black men hating black women and gangs and thugs and trapping and all of that, even all this bad rapping. It's all by design. Okay. And it's up to us to redesign. That's our goal. And that's part of that's part of this revolutionary XM I'm talking to y'all about right now. So let's go into this. We're just getting started. Like I said, Ray be cooking. So when I come back, I got something good for y'all. So make sure y'all got y'all popcorn, nachos, hot dogs, and soda. It's gonna be a doozy. Let's do this. Hopefully this don't make y'all dizzy. Yeah. So he even believed back in the days. This how ahead of his time Fred was. He believed that fascism, the greatest threat. You know, he believed in fascism as the greatest threat. Now imagine a lot of what's going on in the United States is becoming more like fascist or fascist, if you will. Like, forget capitalist, it's actually becoming more fascist. Okay, so if you even think about uh, what fascism is, it's like characterized by a dictatorial leader, centralized autocracy, militarism, forcible suppression of opposition, belief in a natural social hierarchy, subordination of individual interest for the perceived good of the nation and race, and strong regimentation of society and the economy. We're going back to like days of what they would consider Nazism and all of that. But a lot of that was started here with the red, white, and blue flag. Okay. Now, this is not going to be an anti American or anti patriarchal type of a patriotism there. It's not going to be an anti patriotic, not really patriarchal, but patriotic live stream. That's not what this is about. I'm just trying to get y'all to go from somewhere with this, okay? But yeah, a lot of what's going on out here, y'all. It's a lot going on out here, okay? A lot of going on out here. Some of the gangs actually did help some of the activist groups before they became more of what we see today with street gangs. Back in the days, gangs were actually security for a lot of the activist groups. Like they weren't really, basically, they went from being security to gangs. That's how it was back in the days, y'all. Okay? That's how it was back in the days. Real talk. So I wish that people would open their minds and realize, let's get back from gangs to security, securing things. Okay? But a lot of stuff is so dysfunctional and folk don't even know their history. So this idea of what I am a man means now, let's fast forward, shall we? Let's do it. Y'all ready? I told y'all. It's gonna be nice tonight. Okay? Just barely 11 minutes in. We going in. Okay? Uh so what I am a man means now. Basically it means that you still would be considered a threat like a Fred Hampton back in the day, even now. But even more so now because you're not just dealing with feds, you're dealing with social media, and you're dealing with the oppression of a melanated people that have developed so much ignorance over time because of a lot of things being by design. Like I said, you got to work with people that are trying to redesign all this, redefine all this, okay? And leave behind all this eventually. But that's what I am a man means now because a man like Fred Hampton in these times who has a vision, he might not know all the answers, right? But he definitely has a good dream and he definitely has a good question, okay? He definitely has a good question. A guy like that in these times, what I am a man means now is someone like that just won't really have much of a voice and he has to kind of do things a little different. Now, let's think of this idea of what I am a man is about. See, back in the days, it was just simply put that I am a man means I am literally a man like you. I might not have the same skin color, but I bleed like you, I breathe like you, I eat like you. I'm going to be born like you and I'm going to die like you in some ways, right? So basically, we all deserve to live a similar life. We breathe the same air. We drink out of similar waters. Think about how back in so-called days of the so-called black community, if you will, because if you would call it so-called days, no, it was all artificial and manufactured, trying to cause a bad life for people by literally subjecting them to the other side of a major interstate to where they were subjugated into poverty, whereas on the other side of the interstate, everybody was prosperous. A lot of these interstates in the United States of America were literally built to divide, they were literally built as racial divides. You have what they call geologically speaking, if you will, or geographically speaking, if you will. They have what they call the continental divide. Well, guess what? Social, politically speaking, socially speaking, politically speaking, however way you want to look at it, there's a racial divide. And oftentimes, the racial divide was developed by these interstates or by some of the major streets in the city or that state, literally. Like, look this stuff up. Y'all don't have to take my word for it. Look it up, okay? But some people want to kind of do something about these racial divides that exist. We could build bridges, you know? We could build bridges. There are certain parts of certain neighborhoods where I'm from in St. Louis, it's very racially divided to this day. It hasn't changed, okay? I'm not going to go into the history of my hometown city of St. Louis, okay? But there's a lot going there. So let's get a little bit more into this idea of what I am a man means now. Because, like I said, back in the days, it was simply put that a man said, I am a man, because he said, I am a man just like you a man. I deserve a shot just like you got a shot. No discrimination. But see, that's been layered nowadays because you got even a couple of house Negroes that had a little bit of leverage in this so-called uh, uh, this artificial bleach society, if you will. Keep in mind the word bleach. What color does bleach turn dark clothes to? Just saying, just trying to speak a certain way to y'all, right? But you got some house Negroes that knew how to carry their bleach in that society. They were given little jars of bleach, and they were able to get by because they followed the rules of how you carry that bleach in this society, right? Some of them literally bleached their own skin as a result too. Look this stuff up, y'all. Some famous athletes, what, also bleached their skin. Okay, there's a lot going on. Okay, so what does this mean for someone that ain't trying to follow the rules of carrying a bleach, of trying to bleach their skin or their personality or their culture, their background, even their love life, if you will, because that's going on right now as we speak, right? But that's for another conversation because, yes, there are times where you're not going to get appreciation from what your own people, and they will try to assassinate you. So that's why some guys have to be like, where can I at least still live if I cannot be even heard? Okay. So that's what happens. A lot of guys end up not being heard. And so they're just happy with trying to live. So with all the past stuff that's going on, don't take it personal about all for those that are against it. Sometimes it's just that someone just has to figure out a better way to survive. Because for him to be the way a Fred Hampton was back in the day, being all about his people for his people, making a family with his people, sometimes he'll be considered a radical threat by the FBI even to this day. Okay? The way the FBI is actually working right now is in a different way. It's just by basically trying to get these rappers to say things they shouldn't say in their rap songs and then try to frame them for that later. Yes, I said frame them for that later. Why? Because actually the music industry was set up for rappers to be like that. They didn't want conscious rappers in the rap business no more. What they now call what? Miracle lyrical or something like that. But these guys were spitting bars and facts. But they don't want that now. They want you to spit stuff about the trap. But then they put you in a trap because you spit raps about the trap. You see that? And what y'all do in the trap. So that's what's going on. So with your music, I'm like, look here, I might not be making that kind of money with my music, but at least I didn't sell my soul, and at least I'm not setting myself up to not have parole. You dig? Let's go. Let's see what Unique said. Gangs were black community and black neighborhood defenders and protectors. Yes, yes, yes. And then you said good point about the interstates because back in the day, black people couldn't be on certain roads at a certain time or they would get killed to lynch. By the way, that's still going on down in Georgia. Have we not seen a few of these things happen? And those guys that did the lynching, most of them were police officers that wanted to try to make themselves look like this KKK. A lot of people you think are really are of the KKK are not who you think they are. A lot of them come from law enforcement. I'm just saying. See, the average white person is just that, literally the average white person. They're not really on this racial stuff that y'all hear about or we see or we perceive. And just as they realize a lot of black folk ain't on that ghetto stuff, that ignorant stuff, that ratchet stuff. Like, there's some black folks that got some class, some decency. Like, we're actually trying to move ahead in the spirit of Fred Hampton without getting got like Fred Hampton, if you know what I'm talking about, right? Now, you said unique facts because the ones running the show know the music affects people negatively and positively. Yeah, exactly, exactly. So, all right, moving from Fred Hampton, let's and we're gonna get back to Fred Hampton. We're gonna touch upon him more. We got him on the screen, so that's what we do, right? Gonna move this in the spirit of Fred Hampton, revolutionary XM tonight for y'all. Okay. What I am a man also means now, going back to what I said, I guess, about the whole money aspect, like what Martin Luther King was trying to do, which led him to actually being assassinated. They was okay with him doing that. They was okay with him doing that. I have a dream speech, but that's as far as you're gonna go with it, MLK, as they felt, right? The other aspect of what I am a man means now is it's very difficult to this day for a melanated man to have true sovereignty and prosperity based on his own will. No, he has to be willing to do other things to get to that point. Yeah, he ain't got no family inheritance. He doesn't have generational wealth. Okay, like I heard one person on my panel before say back in the day, when I had a lot of panels here at this channel for live streams. If it's not something that you could pass on to your children and your grandchildren, it's not yours. So it's not true generational wealth because these are things you should be able to pass down to your descendants thereafter. Okay? So in this day and age, just having money, just being rich isn't necessarily generational wealth. I'm going to repeat it again. Just having money and just being rich is not necessarily generational wealth. Okay? You got to literally have empires set up, not just even kingdoms. You have to really have something forged, land. Uh, you have to have livestock. You have to have resources, like natural resources, as far as stuff you're not only using but replenishing. Like your own trees, literally to chop. Like it's funny because black folks do own a lot of funerals, allegedly, right? Own a lot of cemetery. Well, I don't even know if a lot of black folks actually own the cemeteries. That's another rabbit hole. Black folks run a lot of funeral homes, but do they actually even own the cemeteries that they have the funerals go to? You know, with the motorcades of the hearses and the families following the deceased loved ones. Do a lot of black folks actually own cemeteries? You might have a funeral, but can you own the cemetery? See, these are things I'm trying to talk about because I want to get to this next person here, which we're starting to actually see a little bit of what the future could hold if you hold on with the spirit of Fred Hampton, because Fred Hampton was talking about revolution in a lot of different ways, not just socially, but even financially, even politically, but not from the standpoint of existing within this American infrastructure. No, setting up a separate infrastructure to represent one nation, uh, separate from this nation. Like literally what one would call the so-called black nation. What I am a man means now is a man trying to figure out how can he represent as himself and his own people, away from what it means to be a black or African American, and even separate from this identity of one trying to say he has traces to Africa, but African people don't even recognize him because even African people will say themselves, you actually have history on your own land that you don't even realize. And it doesn't just go back to slavery because you were stripped of some so called African heritage. No, you have heritage here on this soil as indigenous. Okay? Some Africans did come here, but key, some Africans came here. Okay? Not everybody that has melanated skin necessarily came from Africa. Okay? But yeah, let's get to this next guy. I want to talk about him. I don't know if he has African roots, but he has African kind of last name. But that's here nor there. We're just speaking right now, going back to the generality of what it means to be what I am a man means now. I see what Brown do life up in the building. Good to see you, family. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yes, yes. Uh, there's a 34-year-old guy who's changing this whole concept of what's going on. Before I get to him, I want to talk about somebody else. Okay, the Ford Bronco, probably the whitest truck you could buy, literally. Not just the white one that O.J. Simpson bought because of what he was doing back in the days, of what he didn't do. We don't know if he did it or not. Some people say he did it, some people say he didn't do it, right? But he was driving the whitest of the white type of vehicle you could drive, which was a Ford Bronco. Okay. And so with that said, uh, I ain't gonna lie, no cap. I don't know what y'all mean. I don't know if y'all can feel me on this, but I ain't never considered a Ford Bronco a black man's truck. Not once, right? Even now, Ford Bronco ain't never been considered a black man's truck, let alone a black person's truck. How many black folk riding around the Ford Bronco? When you think of Ford Bronco, though, you think of O.J. Simpson and the white one that he was being chased by the police in. Okay, yeah, even to this day. Now I say all this to say that, ironically, this very white type of truck that you wouldn't even recognize a black person even wanted to get, ironically and iconically, the Ford Bronco, for the most part, has always been designed by a black man. Mark that down. Yes. Now, forget the actual guy's name that designed the first Bronco. in the most recent Bronco, but both of them were designed by brothers. Okay. Now the Broncos in between, uh, they necessarily don't count. I don't know if they were designed by non-black guys or actually black guys or black women per se, but I say the middle age or middle timeline Broncos don't count to me because they were actually based on pickup truck bodies. What makes the first Bronco unique and current Bronco unique is that they're both are not based on pickup truck bodies. They're truly based on their own unique chassis and architecture, separate from a pickup truck. So I say that to say what I am a man means now is still the fact that to this day, like Deontay Wilder would say, to this day, they still need a black man's hand to kind of keep their society going. You know, the American society. There's a black man that taught somebody in America how to barbecue, someone how to design a nice truck or SUV, because the Bronco was basically considered an SUV, even though at the time it wasn't recognized as one. But as we know it today, consider it off-road SUV, 4x4, whatever. Need a black man's hand for that. Need a black man's hand for the coolers, for these fridges, for these websites, .com, black man on that, right? Other things, black man, inventions that we have out here, all black man, okay? It's black. So basically, just the most innovative minds was a brother behind a lot of it. Will he get recognition a lot of times? No. He ain't getting the recognition. We think of the great designers, of the Jordans. I'm gonna go there. Okay. There's a Tinker Hatfield. Shout out to Tinker Hatfield. He was, considered the iconic designer of all the Air Jordans or a majority of them. But some of the more prolific designs were made by a black man. Okay. So I'm just saying. So of course, when you get to the rocket science of stuff, a lot of black women have had their part in that. Okay, that's for another live stream. I'm just trying to center this around what I am a man means now. What I am a woman means, I don't know. That's something in the future. But I know one thing, a lot of that was tied to Black Lives Matter, and we saw where that went, right? But that's for another conversation. But yeah, a lot of rocket science, a lot of so-called black women were around a lot of the rocket science. I'm not denying that at all, okay? For sure. But what I am a man means now in regards to, like I said, the brother man trying to get to this next level in life of representation and separate nation. Well, this guy that's 34 years old, he was once a Wall Street whiz kid, right? And I'm gonna tell y'all his name here shortly. But this guy was a Wall Street whiz kid, 34 years old. Now he's a CEO of PF Chang. PF Chang, y'all don't know what PF Chang is? It's a Chinese restaurant chain. So a young black man is a CEO of a Chinese restaurant chain. Now, you know how some Asians are. Now, I ain't saying all Asians. I'm just saying some Asians, okay? So to all the Asian people, no disrespect, okay? And I hope you don't feel offended. I'm just saying, a black man, young one, running a Chinese food chain, unheard of in these times. So there are some things that I believe is starting to occur little by little. One second. Yeah, I'm back. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Roundu Life said, yep, PF Chang in Southern California. Boom. And out of all places, California, right? A lot of where the Asians were pushed. Okay. And so I want to get on this too because there's this idea some people be like, India's racist and stuff like that. You got that, whatever. But a lot of people don't understand, like when a lot of things took place with the revolution back in India, India's always been multicolored, multicultural, just like Pakistan. Some ways Pakistan split it from India because there were certain things about India that held back people that wanted to do more for themselves. So Hence, that's India, Pakistan splitting off, becoming its own country from India, right? Kind of similar to what Eritrea did in regards to Ethiopia. Okay, but apparently a lot of folks from India they said no, those were the rich people. Y'all call racist the Indians that are racist. No, those are the rich ones that left India, left their own people. They don't give back to the people, and they come over here to this American dream. When you go to India, you don't necessarily think that we are like the people here in America. So that's another conversation, right? Though, but going back to the Chinese, to the Asians, like this is amazing, like unprecedented, because uh, to me it just represents more of a global acceptance of marketing, and we saw this in hip hop where we got all different ethnicities now that can break dance, that can dress up a certain way. How come we can't take that to the next level to where it becomes more racially integrated in regards to commerce, not just the culture. Okay, because now the culture is marketed via the commerce with the sneakers and the hats, and the advertisement, and the music as well. Because some of the big corporate companies use TI's hooks for some of their marketing purposes. Wow, I can't believe it. On a side note, but I got a female fawn of a deer kind of running across me. If she gets close, I'm gonna put a camera on her so y'all can see this deer running. She probably gonna stay as far as she can from me though, cause she running off in the woods somewhere. Side note, but so that's the thing though. Like I see, and even what I felt with the movie Black Panther, I felt this rise of this CEO type of a guy. Let me tell y'all his name. By the way, I never got to tell y'all his name. So this guy, his name is uh Damola Admolikan. That's his name. So basically, yeah, this guy was a former Wall Street kid that turned into the CEO of a casual dining restaurant chain, PF Chang's. Okay. Rondu Life said, seems like the only way black Americans get majority recognition is from either sports or entertainment mainstream at that too. Facts. And so I went a different path in my life. Look, y'all, I had two shots at going to the Olympics. I was that type of dude. I had that type of speed. I was about that type of life. I was on that type of time and running very fast times in my days. I was Division I track athlete back in my day. Okay, and had I just got more into the sport, I knew my capability, and I still got them legs too. By the way, you know, you know, I'm just saying, I still got the legs. I'm just saying, hey, but I took a different path in life because I still wouldn't mind running, but how come I can't be like billionaires that have time to race boats? They have time to race sailboats because now they're billionaires, but they have a little time to race sailboats, develop more technology for the customers to consume, right? I don't want to end up the billionaire though that developed a submersible that got crushed next to the condolences. Okay, I'm aware of that. So I'm just saying I want to be a billionaire that's aware. Let's go. You said you said unique. Went from California dreaming to California burning. Yeah. Yeah. That's true. Yep, exactly. Going back to what you said, Brown Do Life. Yeah. Every other area of life. You don't see that in regards to what I am a man means now. He cannot just be a prolific athlete, then he becomes some guy with a lot of money. Okay, my respects to Shaquille O'Neal, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, and other athletes that have made themselves lucrative. But they did it based off of their athletic capabilities. They didn't become that way based on their ingenuity. Okay? We need to see more of that going on. Forget your abilities. That's fine. Everybody knows you could jump through the roof. Forget your abilities. What about your ingenuity? Okay? Because what I am a man means now is still the fact that a brother wants recognition for his ingenuity, not just his abilities. Okay? That's what's going on right now. Brothers want to be recognized for their ingenuity, not just uh their capabilities. My bad, y'all. That was a little bumblebee. Wanted to be a little friendly with yours truly, but I'm like, hey, I'm working right now. After work, you can chase me all you want to. working right now. You said unique. The country of India uses the caste system and they do colorism too. Yeah, they do. They do. I think times are changing in India though because they definitely don't want to be perceived a certain way. And ironically, a lot of it is due to missionaries getting into India more because now it's just more of this recognition outside of India, but also at the same time, India does have a point when it comes to the broader scheme of politics. Going back to what I said about the United States, in some ways becoming more of a fascist society. So yeah, okay, we can see India in the future become more of a casteless society, while the United States is becoming more of a fascist society. Just saying. You said, hey, what's good, Venom? Good to see you, fam. Good to see you. You said surface, but only light submersible, not a jet or hovercraft. Still costs mad math. Facts. Facts. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, as much as I'm gonna be on the water, the deepest water I've been on to this day is like on the Lake of Michigan. Like I was, I've rowed boats across there many times. I didn't feel no type of way for some reason, but I knew the water was deep. And actually, it's more dangerous going over the Lake Michigan than it is over the ocean. Yeah, the ocean is deeper, but the waters on the lakes can be just as unstable. Okay, I'm just saying. I was like, I ain't feel no type of way. It was a lake. Uh, of course, the shore is still quite a ways off to swim to. Uh, and maybe I don't know. The water still be cold enough to where like you might still get hypothermia real quick. So I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. Like, so that's one thing to I guess consider. Okay. So it's another aspect of what I'm trying to say is but yeah, this guy, I want y'all to really be inspired by the fact that yeah, what I am a man means. Um, it's definitely what I see the emergence of more of that ingenuity amongst a melanated man versus just his abilities. And I think also not just due to things happening in society, it's just also this inertia, not just assertion, okay, but this inertia as far as like just getting in the young guy's head, okay? Like you got to be more than just trying to be a basketball player when you grow up. Now, see, you got dudes in the hood, unfortunately. That's why you see a lot of dysfunction amongst a lot of athletes because most of the dudes came from the hood. Most dudes just Pookie and Ray Ray that know how to play ball. But what was Pookie and Ray Ray told when he was in the hood? Pookie and Ray Ray was told in the hood, yo, you don't want to become a drug dealer. You don't want to become a gang banger. You better get out there and ball, or you better get out there and rap. Or at most, you better become a barber, right? Maybe a pastor, but we know the pastor corrupt, especially now. And pastors kind of go both ways with the sexuality. No pun intended. No pun intended to the rainbow community. I'm just saying there's a lot of pastors that be deceiving a lot of people in the congregation about the way they really feel. Hallelujah. Okay. But just think, I'm talking on different echelons right now if you follow. The dude in the hood was told by someone on the block, yo, don't become a drug dealer, gangbanger, or whatever, or a drug dealer, whatever, right? Uh, become a ball player, become a rapper. But that's low echelon, that's low tier. High tier is you want to run something, you want to own something. That's high tier. So the guy that didn't really have to come off the block like that from the hood, he wasn't necessarily a Pookie and Ray Ray. What is he told? What is he told? He's told to just make sure you stay out of trouble. He's only told to stay out of trouble. Come on, man. So get a job, make sure you stay out of trouble. Because you're doing good, right? Because you're not in the hood banging. You're not in the hood slanging, right? You actually doing good for your life. But you only give him such a low aspiration of what he can be in life. I think that's a problem, y'all. You're giving this young man low aspiration of what he can be in life. Going back to cars, right? Cars, they've changed from being naturally aspirated to having forced induction. Basically, cars now have turbos when one point they didn't need a turbo. So my point is, guys no longer can breathe freely like a car back in the day that didn't need a turbo. Now you got this forced indoctrination, like forced induction. You got forced indoctrination on what you should aspire to be in life. What if that little boy didn't want to be that when he grew up? That little boy, little Trayvon, right? Trayvon Martin. Remember, he wanted to be one of the top aircraft engineers and mechanics. Trayvon Martin. He had his mind on a high level. He was wanting to be greater than just a ball player, right? Trayvon Martin wanted to be more than just a rapper. He wanted to be in avionics, and he was actually very good at it. He was trying to breathe, but he had got what some forced indoctrination on him to where they try to make him look like he was just a thug off the street and he deserved to have gotten shot like he did, right? I'm just saying. So it's more than just trying to tell a young brother that's out of trouble to stay out of trouble. The way he stays out of trouble is to you he has support for him not to just be on some average BS of how to go about life. Being status quo of just having a job and staying out of trouble. That's average. That's average. Just staying out of trouble and having a job. What I am a man means now is that you be telling grown men the same thing. You telling a grown man the same thing as far as staying out of trouble. He heard that in his 20s, in his late teens, in his early teens. He's a grown man, and you're still telling him the same thing. It's like he can't even have a mind to want to be greater than what he should be in the society and what the society is trying to put on him with this forced indoctrination. Okay? So I said this is Revolutionary XM tonight. I see Information Man in the building. What's good, family? Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. I see Unique putting out my links to all the different channels. I appreciate that. Uh, actually, got to do a slight update on one of my other channels because I don't know with the YouTube links, it links me to somebody else's channel. So I'm gonna have to kind of change up the name on one of my channels just so I can make sure that don't happen. I'll give y'all more information on that. I'll post that on my community wall when that time comes when I made these changes. Okay, but let's go. Let's go. Let's continue to talk this talk. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. Um, get more to what I am a man means now. Now I want to get more into the meat of this live stream. That's what I'm about to do now. So if you need to get a refill on your popcorn, nachos, hot dogs, and soda, hopefully you're doing that as I speak. You still got me tuned in, listening. Okay, but let's get more into the meat of this live stream to talk more on what I want to talk about. And I hope that y'all still hear me and that the cicadas in the background don't sound too loud for y'all, right? So where we at? 43 minutes in, I'll be cooking. I told you I was gonna cook for y'all tonight, did I? Did I? This is how I cook. Cause see what I am a man means now in regards to cooking shouldn't mean you want to roast somebody on YouTube or have a beef song, talking about another person. But brother man ain't got time to be roasting. He ain't got time to be doing none of that stuff. You cook with the information and with the knowledge for the next generation and for everybody else in this nation, whatever this nation is. Even the people that aren't in the know, you tell them what you know. If you know, you know. But you know based on what you hear, and it's up to you to do something positive about it, okay? So Tupac actually was another revolutionary. I might have to do a separate live stream about Mr. Tupac Shakur, okay? Might have to do a separate live stream. He was connected to Black Panthers too. A lot of people don't know that about Tupac. He was connected to all that too. Some people have kind of told me I kind of have a similar spirit to Tupac. I don't know. Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. Tupac Rakur, Ray Pac Shakur. I don't know. Y'all tell me. I don't know. Do you hear me? All right. But yeah, here's another aspect. Now, this is not like coming from my perspective now that I'm about to talk to y'all about. So hopefully y'all got y'all refills and everything. So uh, what I am a man means now in regards to my perspective is sometimes it means that he doesn't get peace and rest from his family or his wife at home. especially after a hard day's work. No peace at home nor on the phone. I can't even count how many times I've seen a melanated. I can't even count. I can't even count how many times I've seen a melanated man on the phone having an argument with someone he loves. And I can speak on this myself because I've also went through this. It's not fun. Like I said before in the live stream prior, hashtag no arguing. See, what I am a man means now is a man that just can deal with no more arguing. Like back in the days of those eras during the Fred Hampton times, the women were making sure those men ate. They supported them, gave them hugs, helped tend to their wounds if they were shot up by some FBI but lived to see another day. Okay? So there's a lot to go with this, okay? I'm saying a lot. Ladies, support your brothers more. But even for guys that aren't necessarily black, but you're about revolution like I am. So even a lot of brothers like Brown Do Life, shout out to Brown Do Life. Like I'm just saying, no matter what color right now I'm speaking on some universal. If you see that he's a revolutionary, ladies, you need to support him. Because otherwise you just getting a regular dude. Okay? You're getting a regular dude out here. You are. You're getting a regular dude. And in times to come, having a regular dude who, you know, who just got money or he looks a certain way, he acts a certain way, that ain't gonna fly. You need to have a man that knows what he knows and he knows what to do with it. Okay? That's what it's gonna be about. And so the ladies back then, they knew they had to take care of that man, whether they knew he was gonna see tomorrow. Well, actually, they took care of that man, whether she knew she was gonna see him tomorrow or she wasn't gonna see him tomorrow. This is what I mean. Um, what I mean by this is, let's say she knew that he wasn't gonna come back home. She took care of him. You know what I mean? Up to that point, she knew that she did her part as a wife. How many girls can say that now if they knew that their husband was not going to live past tomorrow? How many women can say that about the man in their life? Did you, get into a little argument with him the night before or whatever? Did you like try to fight him or something? But you knew he wasn't gonna come back tomorrow. That's how it was back in the days. That's why the women supported that man back in the day. They didn't know if he was going to even come back home from some type of revolutionary thing that he had to take care of. Okay, but you get gals nowadays, they glorify the dude in the trap from being out there on the street. Yo, my boy, my baby daddy, my man, he be out there straight bussing, girl. He be straight bussing. I be busting it for him because he be busting on the block, carrying that weight. My man a soldier. My man did time. My man be out here straight hooking it up. He be straight running the block. That's how these girls think. Because they think that's what being a man is. No, that ain't what being a man is, sweetie. That ain't what being a man is. And he's using you, by the way. He's using you. You just don't know it yet. You just don't know it yet. Yeah. And I'm glad that Unique said the sound is still good, loud, and clear. I appreciate that. Let's go. Um, Ladies, don't put a man through such things if you truly love him. Unfortunately, it doesn't get better for this type of man because it's not guaranteed that his wife or family will stick around. But even with that said, most melanated men are childless or without family, especially the ones with hardly any criminal record. Because, like I said, a lot of what's going on with what I am a man means now is that if I'm not out there in the trap, if I'm not a game banger, if I'm not a pimp, if I'm not, if I'm not none of that, if I'm not even a hardcore rapper, if I'm not the best ball player in the NBA right now, I'm not gonna have a wife and family. I'm not gonna have a wife and family. Just being a blue collared brother, I'm not gonna have a wife and family. I need to be a white collared brother if I stand a chance. That's why they've been pushing this high value man content for a while. Nothing against Kevin Samuels, but I'm saying if you ain't a thug, if you ain't selling drugs, you know what I'm saying? If you ain't out here gang banging, if you ain't pimping, you dig. If you ain't doing that, if you ain't a ball player, you better at least be a high value man as a melanated man to get any type of recognition. in this society in this day and age. And that's sad. That is so freaking sad because the blue collar men are actually the ones that make this world go around. With a lot of the melanated men that are blue collar, they out here taking out the trash every morning. Salute. These guys making the world go round, but nobody wants to be around in their world. But y'all marinate on that. Let me know what y'all think what that means. I'm just saying, okay? But he got to have some type of record on him, it seems. You know what I mean? It's sad if he operates a record. You know, meaning like the big commercial size, oversized tow truck, call those wreckers. You know, he don't get no recognition if he drives a record, but if he has a record like a criminal record, he gets all the shine. He gets all the shine then. But that goes off into a nice guy, bad boy conversation, and we're not talking about that tonight. I'm just trying to stick to this point of what I am a man means now. Because yeah, what I am a man means now is anything that just means as far as what a man should be, as far as just being like a hardworking man. People kind of just see that as average. In some ways, some people see that as like that's what you're supposed to do. You know, like because they see you as underneath, like you feed me. Kind of like how some people felt about like the immigrants when they come over here and they do all the work that nobody else wants to do. What I am a man means now is literally a good man, if you will, or even a quote nice guy. You're just doing what you're supposed to do as a man, because that's what as a man you should be doing if you know because you're just seen as average. You looked at no different. You looked at no different than the migrant worker that comes over here and does all the work that nobody else wants to do. Think about that. That's really when you think about that, that's really eye opening. You're seen as invisible. You know what I'm saying? You're seen as someone that a lot of people don't appreciate until they really need you, brother. So, especially for the melanated man, but even for the guys that are upright, if you're not even melanated, same applies to you. You know, same applies to you. It's crazy. So I can see why some guys they want to migrate because they feel like they're treated as migrants anyway. You said, Brown do life. Blue collar jobs have been getting outsourced to foreign lands for a long time. Therefore, hard work to the masses means white collar jobs. Boom. And that's pushing a lot more of what is considered a hard working man out of the picture because AI is taking over a man's hand, a working man's hand. AI is taking over all that. So really, what I am a man means now is just this idea that a certain type of man will only be seen as he will only be seen as more or less like a as a watermark. You're just part of the timeline. You're just part of past history. You know, you know, like even with some of these females out here that aren't trying to be real women, they'll be like, why are you trying to come off like you're a certain type of man? Look, this ain't the 60s no more. This ain't back then. You know, you're talking about all this traditional, but it's like, it's crazy because she wants a traditional man, but he can't be traditional with her. And he can't desire for her to be traditional with him. That's funny how that works. It's funny how that works. She'll just bring up, this is not the 1960s argument. But it's funny because a lot of the anti male stuff started in the 60s. I'm just saying. But yeah, as a result of this, man, I am a man. He can't even basically be a good man. Therefore, most melanated men who are like this, they never get the chance to go through the natural cycle of meeting a woman he can reproduce with. You know, because he's not even in a position to have a family to experience that with a young gal because he either has to have a lot of money, he better know how to play ball, he better be someone on the block, you know what I'm saying? Like really tough with it, whether you a pimp, drug dealer, or a gangbanger, you know what I mean? Or even a player. Not talking about the, you know, certain guys that use the name player, but they not about that street life. I'm just saying, those type of guys get the chance to meet the nice, vibrant young gal and to procreate and to reproduce with her. But the average good man, if you will, as they consider average, he don't get that chance. He don't get that chance. No. He gets leftovers for the most part, or second chance, second hand. I'm just saying. Now it's up to the woman that comes into his life. Maybe she had a child from another man already. It's up to her to show him a different side that she's never shown another man per se, or be a better version of herself that she didn't get to be with other men prior. It's up to you, ladies. But a lot of guys in this era of what I am a man means now, he won't get that chance to know a girl at that young age and start a family with her from scratch. I'm talking about he don't have children, she don't have children. Like what I am a man means now is that a certain type of man, like a Fred Hampton type, he won't get that chance. You know, in this day and age, it's scenarios of like two and three of gals out here already have a child by somebody else. And like I said, I'm not bashing, I'm not shaming, I'm not doing none of that. I'm just being realistic. That's why I say, it's ladies, it's up to y'all to, regardless of that, show that man something that he hasn't, that you haven't shown other men. Be a version of yourself you haven't been, and give that man that. If he's showing you this love you never had, you reciprocate to him love that you haven't reciprocated yet, right? Like it's just deep thought. I want y'all to think about this, yeah. I want y'all to think about this. Like um, most men in this way that are like the Fred Hampton types, in this day and age, like I said, just they left with these typical females that aren't trying to be real women. There are some females that aren't trying to be typical and they want to be real women. Shout out to y'all. But with the typical females, it's like this. Uh, that type of man is left with leftovers. Unfortunately, even the leftovers have left upon telling him it's over. Once again, most men like that are left with leftovers. Unfortunately, even the leftovers have left upon telling him it's over because those types haven't dealt with a man giving them order before. They confuse that with taking orders. They confuse that with orders, taking orders. They'll treat his orders like abuse. And it's not like that. He's just setting things in order, making things more organized. Look at it that way, ladies. But no, they don't like a lot of those types. They don't like that type of man showing up at the door. They'll let him put the D down, but not the foot down. You know what I'm saying? They'll let him pipe him. They'll let him pipe her all day. She'll let him pipe her all day long. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I don't know. We like 57 minutes in. Oh man, it's gonna be a good live stream. I'm gonna have to do a sequel to this one. Maybe a continuation live stream. So one of the first times I've had to do a continuation live stream. I'm gonna definitely continue on with this one. I'm gonna probably stop right here because I'm outside with it, but I got to go back inside, y'all. But before I go, let me see what y'all saying in the chat right quick. Let me see what y'all saying. And I got a boisterous megaphone of a mouth of mine. I'll be out here and people will be listening. So, you know what I'm saying? And I know people be feeling me. So let's see what y'all saying. Uh, you said unique. Uh, with technology pushing out blue collar jobs, more people are getting pushed into white collar jobs. Yeah, that's facts. And then Brown Do Life, you said the working class don't get much appreciation outside of the political election seasons. Facts. Don't get much appreciation at all. And that's why, like with the first aspects of what the credit union was, Fred Hampton spoke on that because they were like, Fred Hampton, what is the credit union? Is it a bank or what is it? Fred Hampton said it is a bank, but it's a bank for the people by the people. That's what the credit union is supposed to be, right? So that don't get much recognition either. You said also Brown Do Life that having your cake mentality has been around for the last 50 to 60 years too. Facts, much facts. Then you said also Brown. You said unique. Basically, you're going to have to start your own business or get a profession in healthcare or tech field to survive this job shift. Yep, that's it. Uh, and then you said Brown Do Life. For you, accept this shift will happen in the B system though. Oh my gosh, that's so true. That's so true. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you gotta with the way things are going right now, you gotta get more high tech with it. And that's what I liked about the Wakanda movie. It was indicating this true shift. Now I've talked about masculine paradigm shift at this channel. For the ladies, it's something else, but it's similar. But just speaking on men right now, masculine things, especially from melanated, but even the non-melanated, working with the melanated, because it's gonna take real men, not typical males, to turn this thing around. Can I get another amen? Like Brown Do Life said earlier. And I appreciate that, Brown Do Life. Much love to you always, family. Uh, yeah, I got some people giving me a shout out because they heard me. I sound like a like some revolutionary right now. Everybody give me a shout out right now. They hearing me talk. I'm telling y'all, I'm out here. I'm outside with it. Everybody listening to me. I don't know who I am, so people can say, "Yo, you need to be the next president, right?" I'm humble with it. Whatever y'all want me to be as far as anything that's positive, I'll probably be open to it. Maybe I could try to do something as far as presidency in the future, but it can't be for this type of society we live in right now. It can't be. You know what I'm saying? It can't be where there's racism. It can't be where people don't get their fair share. Things happen in the past, fine, but we're here now. Let's do something about it. I'm just saying, let's do something about it. That's my tagline. Hashtag, let's do something about it. Who with me? Who with me? Okay? I'm just saying. But yeah, another one coming up. I'm not going to even do my formal statement for this particular live stream because it's going to be a continuation. I'm not done, y'all. Oh, no, I'm not done. I could have put this on my IG. Make sure y'all follow me on IG, by the way, RayalGXM. Make sure y'all follow me. But I'm going to do a continuation here exclusively on YouTube. I'm going to probably come back in a couple of hours, or I might do this the next morning. But stay tuned. Make sure y'all tune in. I shall be back. Make sure that you like, comment, share, and subscribe from this channel, as well as this particular live stream for those listening to this on the replay. I love y'all so much. Thanks for riding out in the spaceship with me all this time. We shift from wolf packs to spaceships. That's what we do over here. Okay? And just remember, ad astra per aspera. Okay? That means shooting for the stars, getting through all the difficulties. Okay? I didn't even know that. It took me going to a space center, me being about spaceships and being a spaceman, Rayology XM. And there's something to this idea of rayology. Y'all can look this up. It ain't just me making up a name, okay? This is real stuff, right? And even XM, okay? All this is tied in. It's crazy how this is all tying in right now. But yeah, ad astra per aspera, shooting for the stars, getting through all the difficulties regardless. That's what we do over here at Rayology XM, okay? Yes, that's it. That's it. Yeah, I'm gonna be back, Venom. Engaged, and we out of here. Taking off. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. You said let's do something about it. Hashtag. Hashtag. Let's do something about it. Let's go. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, Unique. Yeah, we going somewhere. We're gonna be right back, a couple of hours or maybe the next day, you know, during the day. Haven't decided, but yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Taking a little break. Gotta go back inside, been outside. Much love to y'all. Thanks a million for stopping by. Until next time, going back to the mothership for now.